Could have been Barack Hussein Obama, perhaps we should ask him. Now, he was very nasty last night. I try and be nice to people, you know, but it's a little tough when they get personal. Please, again, remember, please, sir, don't get personal, talk about policy. Should I get personal? Should I not get personal? I don't know, my advisors are fired. No, we'd rather keep it on policy, but sometimes it's hard when you're attacked from all ends.
Former President Barack Obama's speech at the Democratic National Convention clearly got under Donald Trump's skin, but he actually surprisingly managed to keep it together and not engage in personal attacks against Obama, even though you can tell he was tempted to. He did attack Democrats on policies. Of course, there was a lot of dishonesty in some of those attacks. However, I do want to give you a snippet of what Obama had to say about Trump during that electrifying DNC speech. Let's take a look.
It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes.
Hey, don't scroll away. Come back. Because before the video continues, we just want to urge you to lend your support to TYT. You power our honest reporting. You do it at tyt.com/team, and we love you for it.
Weird obsession with crowd sizes. And now look, when you compare Obama's personal attacks against Trump to Trump's personal attacks against Obama, obviously that seems pretty measured, right? But for Obama, those attacks were a big deal, because we're talking about a party that up until right now tried really, really hard to rise above it. And hearing Obama attack Trump in the way that he did in that speech was, it was rare. Let's just put it that way. But what's more interesting to me in this story, Cenk, is the fact that clearly Trump is trying really hard to listen to his advisors. Before Obama gave his speech yesterday, Trump actually spoke to CNN, and get a load of this.
What he said, almost a complete turnaround of what we have heard him say about former President Obama before.
I like him. I think he's a nice gentleman, but he was very, very weak on trade. If you take a look at what happened to our country trade-wise, it was a disaster. Take a look at Japan, take a look at China, take a look at what happened with some of these countries, what they did. But I happen to like him. I respect him and I respect his wife.
You heard that correctly. Trump says that he likes Obama and that he respects Obama and his wife, Michelle, who, by the way, she gave my favorite speech of this entire event. She was incredible. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Cenk, go ahead.
Okay, so a lot of told yous here, but one mistake that I want to point out from our coverage last night, I did not see, as we were doing the play-by-play, that Obama went like this and this after saying crowd sizes. And that's a reference to size mattering, right? And so to me, that's huge because it doubles down on what we noticed, which is that the old line that actually came from Michelle Obama herself, when they go low, we go high. Now they're going low. Obama's doing this. Okay, that doesn't get any lower than that. Okay, so, and both Michelle Obama and Barack Obama hit him hard. And so they were like, they're the golden couple, so they were super classy as they did it somehow anyway. Everything they do looks classy, but they were not shy about hitting him and on a personal level too. And so now the couple of told you, one, he can't resist. Although, and by the way, I'll come back and triple down on that, told you, when we see him ignore that interview part that you just saw there for a second. So let me break it down chronologically. So they tell him, hey, now remember, they're gonna attack you, but the Obamas are super popular. If you attack them, and especially in a crass way, that'll hurt you and not them. They're not even running, right? So any political consultant worth anything would tell you that. So that's why Trump's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna show you discipline. He goes out there and goes, he's a nice gentleman.
He called him a gentleman. I know. I was like, okay. And obviously, this is with the backdrop of all of the allegations that Trump threw at Obama when he won his election in 2008. I want to see the birth certificate. He wasn't born here in the United States. Like, that stuff doesn't just go away because Trump says he respects him and called him a gentleman one time, right? But but it does show that he is getting advice behind the scenes and he's trying to follow that advice.
Right, he's trying to do what they call message discipline, right? It will not work. And I have to say, I don't know if the interview happened before or after the rally, but there he is at the rally.
Before.
Yeah.
Yes, it happened yesterday before Obama even spoke.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So,
of course.
Yeah. So he has a conversation with CNN.
Nice
later
gentleman.
in the day, Obama gives his speech. And then, Trump's rally, the video we showed you at the top of this story, happened today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So already message discipline breaking down. Okay. And then it's just going to devolve from here.
But
he can.
Not by much.
Okay. Yeah. So that one wasn't too bad, right? But that goes to a second told you. He loves the crowd reaction. And yesterday we talked a lot about this in the coverage about how he can't help but react to the crowd. So when the crowd, he says Kamala Harris is beautiful, they're like, grumble. Then he goes, oh yeah, I'm prettier. And the crowd's like, yeah, right? And so that's why when he said, should I attack him? And the crowd goes nuts and wants him to attack Obama.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you see that? And my consultants told me, or whatever he said, that you wouldn't have that reaction. No, knucklehead, they're not telling you that MAGA isn't going to have that reaction. MAGA is going to love your attacks. Mm-hmm. They're telling you the general population isn't going to like it.
The swing voters.
Yes, and he can't help himself because the minute the crowd applauds, he's like, me like attention, me like love, please love me.
Well, it's interesting because he could actually attack his political opponents. It's just that he needs to avoid doing so in a personal way, right? So if he wants to attack them on policy, have at it. That's what the election is all about.
And by the way, Anna, you know me, I don't even mind attacks personally. But it depends.
It depends.
Right? So if you're saying, hey, Trump's not that bright, that's a personal attack, but it's true. George Bush wasn't that bright. It's a problem when the president's not that bright, right? And you can make, by the way, Joe Biden can't talk. Personal attack, but true and very relevant, right?
Yeah.
So, but when you get into crazy lunatic things like, nobody shows up at a rally, she's faking it with AI, right? And then she's not even black, she just turned black. Well, that's both personal and maniacal. Mm-hmm. And the problem is the maniacal part, not so much the personal part. And especially when you do one last thing about that, especially when you attack her based on gender and you do it in a dirty, ugly way, it turns off other women voters.
That's what I was going to jump in on because, I've realized that the personal attacks, whether they're true or not, doesn't matter. What matters is whether or not the voters, the slice of voters that you're trying to persuade, like the personal attack that you're engaging in. And the type of personal attacks he has engaged in ever since Kamala Harris became the Democratic nominee are the kinds of attacks that turn a lot of people off. And then you couple that with the stuff that's popping up from JD Vance's previous interviews about how, childless individuals in America don't care about the future of the country, how they're just sad cat ladies, that kind of stuff, those types of personal attacks, by the way, not just on your political opponents, but on the American people, not gonna play well. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanna be clear, there are personal attacks that might not even be true at all, but could be appealing to the voters that the politician is trying to appeal to. So I don't think the truth matters at all in, unfortunately, this arena.
Yeah, and so again, if I'm advising Trump, I'd tell him, listen, brother, you want to attack her on X, Y, or Z, that makes sense. And I don't want you to lose your aggression. And I don't want you to lose your authenticity. Those are actually advantages for you, right? But if you attack her in a way that makes it seem like you think all women are unintelligent, that's a disaster. But then you have to talk to him like he's a child, because how do you not already know that? So how can you not control yourself in such counterproductive attacks? Because when you say she has no record of accomplishment, and she slept her way to the top when she's been a district attorney, attorney general, senator, vice president, etc. You're not insulting her. Women will feel like you're insulting all of them, that no matter what you do, it's never enough, and you slept your way to the top, and you're not smart, and we don't respect you. And it's nails on a chalkboard for female voters.
So can we actually engage in a moment of self-reflection? Because I think what you're saying is 100% right. And I think that on our side, we've unwittingly engaged in some missteps in attacking Donald Trump. So a great example, in my opinion, is attacking him on the bankruptcies. I know you're going to disagree with me on that. But remember, when you attack Trump on the bankruptcies, there are a lot of Americans, ordinary Americans, who have gone bankrupt. And so they think about themselves and they feel like they're being attacked. Do you get what I'm saying?
I
get where you're coming from, because he was literally handed hundreds of millions of dollars by Papa and he lost it. I get the urge to attack him on that, but you have to think about how that comes across to ordinary Americans, who many of whom have gone through a lot of financial hardship.
Anna, I will not debate you because you have made a good point.
Thank you.
So what I'm going to do going forward is, it's not that I'm not going to talk about the bankruptcies. I'm still going to kick his ass out now. Okay, but you're right. And what I'll start with is a preface. You'll now see me do this a lot, not just on this show, but if you watch me on other shows. I'll start with, look, a lot of people have personal bankruptcies, and oftentimes in America because of healthcare issues. So, I run a small business. I know how hard it is to run a small business. I'm not hating on anybody who went through a bankruptcy. But this brother was handed $400 million and bankrupted 6 giant companies, including casinos, which previously seemed unimaginable, right? So with the preface of, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about spoiled little Donnie Trump.
Yeah, I think being precise in the rhetoric and ensuring that you are not coming across in a way that would turn off ordinary people is really important. And that is a skill that at least you're receptive to, whereas, Trump's trying right now, but I agree with you. I think that if there are enough insults toward him by the Democratic Party, he's not going to be able to resist.
Yeah. Now, if I thought of something funny as I was smiling. If I was Trump and you gave me that good advice, I'd be like, I'd go in front of the crowd and be, now Anna says I shouldn't talk about his 6 bankruptcies, okay? But what do you think? And then the crowd roars and I go, about it. Right? And so, by the way, for young Turks audience that's watching this now or whenever you watch it, when you see me on another show, start with, now I get it, there's bankruptcies in this country from healthcare, et cetera. You'd be like, I want you to think to yourself, Anna did that.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members, because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate media. And all of that is because of you guys. Hit the join button below and become one of us, become a young Turk.